Next year, we move into a new era in our academic sustainability program development. As many of you know, we've been searching for a director for the Center for Sustainable Processes and Practices. I'll get it right one of these days. For the last couple of years, it's clearly been a long search, and we have covered the nation, and we have identified a number of great candidates. But the final decision in the search was quite clear. And last April, we announced that Robert Costanza would join us as director of the Center for Sustainable Processes and Practices and as University Professor of Sustainability. He will join us formally next September. Bob is currently the Gund Professor of Ecological Economics and Director of the Gund Institute of Ecological Economics at the University of Vermont. I think school's probably over there, isn't it? Yeah. As many of you know, he's internationally acclaimed for his visionary work across disciplines where he links ecology and economics to sustainability. We're very happy to have him join us here today, and he's really the guy who can talk to you about the future for the Center for Sustainable Processes and Practices. So, Bob Costanza.
Wow, that was quite a presentation you all put on. I'm really excited to be here, and honored that you've chosen me to continue you in your process. And as President Weimel said, and I very much agree, it is a process, figuring out what sustainability means, trying to determine the solutions to our ongoing and very integrated and complex social and environmental and economic problems. I think Portland and Portland State in particular can be fabulous models for how we make that transition to a sustainable society. I think that's part of what we need to do here is to utilize those capabilities. I think many universities are struggling with making this kind of transition from what I might call a second millennium university to the third millennium university. How do we create the patterns, not only in our built infrastructure, but in our educational system that can lead to a more sustainable and desirable future? And I think the desirability part is something that we really need to focus on. John DeGraff, I think, will show in his movie that one of our major questions is what really is the economy for? What is it about? And I think we need to change our view of the economy from one that's simply about producing more stuff to one that's about producing sustainable quality of life for all people and for all life on the planet. So how are we going to go about doing that? I think there are many possibilities, and I think you all have covered some of them, but I think we need to do more with our educational system as well. How do we involve our students more with the community more directly? How do we solve problems directly with stakeholders in the community, not just the local community, but also all the way up to the global community? So building more of a problem-based learning environment that can bring together faculty from all across campus. And I found that one of the best ways to do that transdisciplinary integration is to focus on real-world problems and getting people to work together on solving those problems. I think it's also important that we have a venue for discussing those solutions, not just among ourselves, but I think with the larger world. So one of the things we're doing will be to bring this new journal that we started called Solutions here to Portland State. So the editorial office will be located here. And I'll pass around a couple of copies of this. Make sure I get those back. You can subscribe, of course. And it's available online for free. But I think it's a new venue for not debating continuing the debate about our problems, but building some real consensus about what the solutions might be. And I don't think that sort of venue has existed before. Our rule of thumb for articles in this journal is that they have to be no more than 1/3 about the problems and 2/3 about the solutions. So, and I think that's what we're all here for. Time is running out. We have significant problems that we're facing as a society, as a species, for that matter. And we have to start coming up with some real solutions and building consensus about those solutions and stop arguing about them. I saw a really nice cartoon recently that was set at the Copenhagen Climate Convention, and there's the speaker up in the front, with the slide saying, here's all the things that we need to do. We need to create green buildings and sustainable jobs and et cetera, the whole long list of things that we need to do, a zero carbon society. And in the back is the climate skeptic, and he says, yeah, but what if it's all a big hoax and we create a better world for nothing? So we need to get beyond that, and let's just create a better world. And I think that's really the change in the message that has to come about in order to get there, that we have to create a positive vision of that world and to show that it's not a sacrifice to change our culture, to change the way we live, to one that's more sustainable. In fact, if anything, it's a sacrifice not to do that. Our quality of life is actually going to suffer if we continue down the road that we're on now. As someone has said, business as usual is really the utopian fantasy. It's not a utopian fantasy to create this sustainable and desirable future. It's what we all have to do together. And so I'm really excited about being here and being part of this university and this city, because I think this is where the trail is going to be blazed. Thanks.